Afternoon, YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about the 1977 song Black Cow by Steely Dan. This is a great tune, and it was on the Asia album from that era, which really established Steely Dan in the jazz rock scene. This is a tough one. I counted the chords, there's 29. That's almost as many players as there is in the Steely Dan when they play studio or live. As before, I'm going to play you a snippet of the song, and then I'm going to break down the components of the song and show you how I play it for solo acoustic guitar. The guitar itself is in standard tuning, and I have a little bit of tremolo on the guitar itself. So with this, let's get started. Okay, that was a great song. It's tough to play and sing. Let's go ahead and start with a little bit of an explanation of how to play this song. If you've ever listened to the Asia album, you understand that Steely Dan has many instruments, a lot of keyboards and whatnot. The song starts out with a strange sort of introduction, but the introduction's made with three particular instruments. And the guitar is basically playing a thing like, and then a bass is filling in. What I've tried to do for the introduction is to come up with a way so that I can sort of get that sound, a little bit of the bass, using the implied chords. The introduction starts out here with your first finger laying across the fifth fret of the D string, the G string, the B string, and the high E. And then you put your pinky finger laying across the 8th fret of the B and the high E. And this has sort of got the same implied sound, so it's, and when you strum, you're going to strum upwards. You're going to go. This chord right here is a C6th. And when you put this is the C6th, this is the C5th. So it's, okay? So the way you put this together, you're going to put that little section together with this sliding bit, which is really, this is a C9th sliding to a D9th. Okay? Let me show you how that sounds. So it's, and you probably recognize that if you listen carefully to the album itself, you're going to hear that a lot. So what I've done here is to try to put together a little intro that sort of sounds, that takes the best of both of those. So it's, Okay, and I'm trying to get that. You can repeat that. I think it's 4 times in the song that you repeat that. And that's from a solo acoustic guitar. That's how I'm playing that introduction, which normally has a bass guitar and a regular guitar on it. So let's go ahead and move to the verse itself. The verse uses a C9 chord. It starts out with a C9. Now, C9 is made by putting your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and laying your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the G string, the B string, and the high E, and then you use your pointer finger and you lay that on the 2nd fret of the D string. And you're only going to play the 5 strings. You're not going to play the low E. So it's classic C9. Now, the first line of this is really important to get down because it sort of sets the beat. So it's in the corner of your eye. So you're doing this sort of bouncing stabs on the C9. Now, the D9 comes into, now the D9 is essentially, you slide up 2 positions, keeping that same shape. So you're going to, that's a D9. So, and you remember I just did a C9 to a D9 here. What you're going to do is when you're singing this, you're going to slide up and then back down real quickly to the C9 position. So from a C9 to a D9 and then back down. So it's in the corner of my eye. You and Rudy, you were very high. Okay, so you're going to get that. You got to throw that in there on the first line. And it's sort of tough to get it in with the words, but you got to slide that in there. Okay, that's the first line. So in the corner of my eye, I saw you and Rudy's. You were very high. Okay, the next chord is an A7 sharp 9. Very easy chord to make. You basically lay your finger across from the 5th string all the way down, and you just on the 5th, all the 5 strings here, and then you use your ring finger and your little finger to cover the 6th fret of the G string and the B string, and that's going to give you your A7 sharp 9. That's important because the next chord is a D11th, and you just lift your finger. There's a very slight variation. So listen how that sounds. So it's A7th to a D11th, which is just laying down like that. So the way that sounds, I saw you and Rudy, you were very high, you, and you only hit it one time, you were high. So the A7 sharp 9 is just a passing chord. You were high. Next chord is a E7 sharp 9. That's sort of a Hendrix type chord. It's a D7 shape. And so you go ahead and put the, we'll surely scream out the sorrow. And then next chord is an E flat major 7th. Now you do an E flat major 7th by putting your first finger across on the 1st fret on the D, G, B, and high E. And then you're going to use your ring finger, and then you're going to lay that on the 3rd fret of the G, B, and the high E. That's the way I find is the easiest way to do it. It's E flat major 7. So let's listen to how that sounds. Let's see. So it's A7th sharp 9. You were high to a D11th. It was a crying. This is the E7th sharp 9, the Hendrix chord. Was a crying disgrace. And then it's E flat major 7. Saw your face. So full speed. You were high. It was a crying disgrace. They saw your face. Okay. And then it's back to the C9. On the counter has a book of numbers, remedies. Okay, do that next line, then it's again A7 sharp 9, one of these. So you do the same little riff thing. Back to the where were you? And then you end that next line on a D with an E bass. Because it's sort of setting up a pre-chorus. So let me play that full speed. One of these will surely scream out. E7 sharp 9. But where are you? E flat major 7 to a D with an E bass. Tomorrow. So you want to, it's a regular D, but you got to sort of emphasize hitting the the low E string. Tomorrow. Going to the pre-chorus. I can't, then you're going to go to an A major 7. I can't cry anymore. That's an A major 7th. That's a D 7th shape. First finger on the first fret of the G string. Your ring finger on the second fret of the D. And your ring finger on the second fret of the B string. I can't cry anymore. Next one is a G with an A bass. Easy one right here. Just your ring finger on the third fret of the B string and the third fret of the high E string. And you want to hit from the A down. Let's see. A G with an A bass. And then to a D 11th again. And then back to an A major 7th. So the way that sounds is, I can't cry anymore. You run around. Well, you run around. D 11th, A major 7th. Then you're going to do 2 stabs, a G major 7th, break. So it's G major 7th, first position. Break away. That's F sharp minor 7th. So it's break away. Just when it seems, so it's C sharp minor. Just when it seems so clear. That's an A flat 7th. That it's over. It's a D with an E bass again. Over now to an A. Drink your F sharp minor. Drink your big to an E. Black cow to a D major 7th. And then back to a D 11th. And get out of here. And you stay on that chord. And then you're going to go to an E flat with an F bass. That's, you lay down your first finger on the third fret of the D, G, B, and the high E. And then you put your ring finger on the, or your middle finger on the 4th fret of the B string. So you get that. That's sort of setting you up for the next verse, which is exactly the same chord. So I'll call out the chords. I know there's a lot of chords to this. I can't cry. Let me get the right. I can't cry anymore while you run around. G with an A bass. D11, A major 7th, G major 7th to an F major 7th, F sharp minor 7th. To a C sharp minor, to an E flat 7th, to a D, to an A, to an F sharp minor. Drink your big black to an E, to a D major 7th, to a D 11th. Okay? So let me play the last 2 lines, and I know it's complicated. There's a heck of a lot of chords. So I'll start out from breakaway. Breakaway. Seems so clear. It's over now. Drink your big black cow and get out of here. I love that chord. D11th. flat F with an F bass. And then the second verse goes, down the street, there you go, looking so outrageous. So you're gonna do that again, the whole thing that I just said, second verse. Okay, now we get into the keyboard solo. Okay, so on the last line of the second verse, you're gonna lead into the keyboard solo. So it's, drink your big black cow. So it's F sharp minor to an E, to a D major 7th, to a D 11th, and get out of here. And then you're gonna slide up to an F 11th. That's on the 8th fret, same shape as the D 11th. You're just going. And then the, you know, Fagan and he comes in. G7, the keyboard solo, I'm just gonna call out the chords. G7, stays on this, A7, now, this is a G minor 9th, no 5th. Recognize that sound. So it's G minor 9th, no 5th, F sharp minor 9th, no 5th, F minor 9th, no 5th, and then you slide down to a D 9th. So a G minor 9th, no 5th is sort of like this is a C 9th shape. You move that up there. That's going to be or this is a D, so that's going to be an E 9th. But if you take this finger and you drop it down, it's on the 8th fret, I'm sorry, 8th fret. You drop that down, that is a G minor 9th, no 5th. I love those chords. Sometimes called a minor 6th, I think, too. So the way that sounds is, going down to the D 9th for the second part of the keyboard solo, D 9th to an E 9th, F minor 7th, G with an A, E flat with an F bass, to a D with an E bass. And it's back into the I can't cry anymore since you run around, since you run around. Okay, so let me play the keyboard solo again, just so you know it. I'll try to call out the chords as I'm playing them. So it's, I'll start on the last line of the verse. So it's, okay. And get out of here, D 11th, F 11th. You build up, G7, it's a cool keyboard solo, G7, A7, building up, D 9th, E 9th, F minor 7th, G, E flat, I can't cry anymore while you run around, just like I played it before. Okay, so you're going to play that, same thing, it's the pre-chorus. And then what you're going to do, the very last line of the pre-chorus, it changes just a little bit and it gets ready for the So Outrageous thing. And I think in the original recording, Michael McDonald actually was in the outrageous part. He was a backup singer or one of the studio singers for, not backup singer, studio singer for Steely Dan. So the last line is, drink your big black cow. And instead of going to a D 11th, you go to an A major 7th. and get out of here. Sort of sets you up for this. Go to a G with an A bass, to a D11, and then you bounce to a G, and then back to an A major 7. So it's A major 7, G, A major 7. And then you repeat that for the entire outro of this song. It just continues to go. So let me play that last line. So it's, drink your big black cow and get out of here. G, D11, A major 7, A major 7, G, D11. So outrageous. And you just fade out on that. Your chorus is going wild. Okay. All right, folks. That's a tough one. You definitely have to send me an email if you want to get the PDF of this. I have it all mapped out with all the chords. This is a great song. The Asia album, I understand, in 2011 was put into the Library of Congress. That is a great album. I mean, it is solid. And those guys were such perfectionists, it really shows. So hopefully that helped you today to learn how to play this song. Great jazz rock. If you have any questions about this video or any of the other videos that I've made, just go ahead and leave me a question or a comment at my YouTube channel, and I'll catch you guys later. See you later.